Welcome back to the Asian Investment Conference, where the rise of the consumer in Asia Pacific has been in the spotlight today. Joining us now is Anne Sherry, CEO of Carnival Australia. Anne, you just came out of a panel discussion on the topic. Could you talk us through the most interesting points of discussion from today?
Well, it was a great session. I think the most interesting thing was the discussion about brands, which is often talked about in the context of Asia-Pac consumers, particularly Asian consumers, and whether having a known brand is an advantage or whether building brands from the ground up should be considered. So there was a lot of debate about that. My view, of course, is that having really well-established global brands, which we do, is a huge advantage as you go into developing markets, because you've already got brand identity, recognition, all the things you've got to spend a lot of money developing if you don't already have them.
Asia consumers could replace US consumers as the drivers of global economic growth. What opportunities does this present for companies like yours?
I think it presents a huge opportunity. The challenge is that consumers in Asia aren't homogenous. So we've got to do in Asia what we've done in other markets, which is work out what does a Chinese consumer want and what does a Vietnamese consumer want and what does an Indian consumer want, and how to meet those needs. But I think the opportunity is in a growing market where young people have money. Leisure travel is one of the things that people under 30 everywhere in the world say they want to spend their money on. So there's massive opportunity. The challenge is to harness the opportunity, have the product that meets need, but also to do that market by market in a way that captures the growth opportunity, I think.
How do the demands and expectations of Asian consumers differ from those in the rest of the world?
I think the expectations are, well, there's obvious things. Food, people want to eat the food that they're familiar with. They want entertainment and ways of being entertained that they like and understand. But I think international brands are sufficiently diverse that you can have consumers from multiple markets together on a ship. And part of the appeal is that it's not just like being at home. It is a more international experience, it's a more multicultural experience, but you can still find the things you really like. The other opportunity with Asian consumers is that ships are a great way to travel with multi-generation families, and one of the trends in Asia, of course, is younger people paying for their kids and often their parents to travel with them simultaneously, and I think there's a piece of that market that really speaks to us. And that it's a massive opportunity for us. And that's slightly different to the US, where many of the travellers are older, or the UK for that matter, where many of the travellers on ships traditionally have been older. It's more like an Australian market where the average age of the traveller is younger and they are travelling in extended family groups.
What can companies do to engage consumers in Asia?
I think creating demand is always the hardest thing. So we do that partly by bringing the brands to the market. Great ships coming into ports is one of the things that makes people think, gee, I wonder what that would be like. Translating that then into an experience market by market is the opportunity. And that really requires time, perseverance, and probably a good online presence as well. What we've seen in many of the other markets, particularly in Australia, is the online community is incredibly powerful in selling the message to their, other people they know.
So has technology development really changed consumer behaviour over the last decade?
I think it's changed the way the consumer engages, and it has changed the consumer. So people get a lot of access to information about forms of travel and what it really looks like. But the added piece is that they post information, photos about their own experience, and then they talk and engage with other people online about what that means. So in some ways it's a great marketing tool for us that we literally, don't have to pay for other than hosting the site. So and that's a very different experience, or it just gets to more people. Probably people always talked about their holidays, but just one-on-one, not to a much bigger audience. Yeah.
Thanks, Anne. Stay tuned to AIC TV for more insights from thought leaders.